Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today's webinar. We have outstanding speeches today about developing innovation towards value-based healthcare. I am grateful to welcome our high-profile speakers on behalf of International Society for Telemedicine and Electronic Health. It's my honor to introduce Ms. Tori Senard from United States. She is founder and publisher of Partner in Digital Health Institute, and she has been named as a female leader in blockchain in 2019 and 2020. I am so grateful to introduce Mr. Richard Dusseler from Netherlands. He is a digital transformation and strategy leader and member of our digital transformation leadership group. And he's a value-based care certified green belt. Likewise, I am thankful for having Dr. Iman from the United States of America. He is a principal scientist and lead in cognitive artificial intelligence services at Oracle. I am Dr. Dina Ziadlou, and I will be the moderator for this session. I am a chair of digital transformation leadership at International Society, and also I am a professor of the Colorado Technical University at United States. The International Society for Telemedicine and Electronic Health has been existed to facilitate the international dissemination of knowledge and experience in digital transformation, telehealth, and e-health, and to provide access to recognized experts in the field worldwide. Please feel free to learn more about our activities in the website www.isfTeH.org. I would like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Tori Senard, to start her presentation. Ms. Tori, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dina. Good afternoon to all, and thanks to the ISfTeH and Digital Transformation Leadership Work Group for their kind invitation to join you today to explore approaches in developing innovation for value-based creation. My name is Tori Senard, founder and publisher of Partners in Digital Health, including the value-focused open access academic journals, Telehealth in Medicine Today and Blockchain in Healthcare Today. And TMT, incidentally, full disclosure, is endorsed by the ISfTeH. Thank you. The portfolio forecasts, shapes, and reflects market potential, innovation, and research to blaze trails and ignite zeitgeist for blockchain technology and telehealth sectors in healthcare. Next, Dina, please. Our agenda this afternoon will explore components contributing to innovation in value-based healthcare. Next. Let's start with originality of workforce, and this is you. Let's begin briefly with the founder of modern management, who ignited the concept of innovation being the core process of companies. Look at Microsoft, Google, Tesla, for example, always innovating new products, services, iterations, and identifying market gaps to fill. Next, we confirm this theory. Oh, sorry, Dina, I'm still on the other side, so sorry. We confirm his theory to a more recent research with companies reporting innovation as a top 3 priority, jumping to 75% as reported from the Boston Consulting Group from their most innovative comparative survey. And finally, this is all about you, the workforce. You create innovation. So the innovation must present a value for your customers. And now let's decide who you are or who you want to be on this list, because we are sharing employee profiles, typically transforming organizations. So maybe you can identify yourself on this list: rebellious, audacious, obsessed, hot-blooded, hypnotic, and perhaps even emotional. So this article came from Fast Company, and the author suggests if you do in fact have one or more of these traits, you might want to ask your employer for a raise. Next, Dina. Next, Dina. Thank you. So here we are with value-based care, standardizing healthcare processes through best practices and health outcomes versus the old way, which was measuring good health through procedures and appointments. Now we want to prevent problems from beginning or presenting. And the type I have italicized in blue is a new niche opportunity for innovation in value-based care spotlighted by the pandemic. And that is mining of data and evidence can determine which processes work and which don't. And this forms the foundation of care pathways for getting the best results for our patients or your patients. Now, the quadruple aim, with that, we actually begin with the triple aim, but we're adding a fourth, making it quadruple now. And again, the copy in blue has opened a flood of new innovation and startups to market. AI is playing a huge role, and companies managing customer insurance plan advocacy, for example, is also gaining popularity. Next. Here we have value-based innovation components. Now, human and cultural values impact individual, organizational, institutional, societal, and global stakeholders, influencing both corporations and shareholders. So, for example, the UN Sustainability Development Goals have created challenges and opportunities for innovation around justice, equality, sustainability, and privacy, for example. And Brewer and Freud proposed a theory where companies that adopt a value-based approach to manage innovation through collaboration succeed. So here we see what components make up this innovation diagram. One is visibility, the other is feasibility and desirability. And within these segments, for example, visibility impacting business, and that could mean economic analysis and policy. That can mean marketing. That could mean operations, certainly information technology and entrepreneurship. Feasibility is more technology oriented. So here we have engineering, we have statistics, we have electronics, programming methodologies, bioengineering, for example, and thermodynamics. And finally, our human values are reflected in desirability with human-computer interaction, with aesthetics, with designing for sustainability. And we can also take into consideration, we have psychology, we have sociology, and we have ethnography now as well. Next. And here we get to our 4 Ps of innovation management. So 1 is simply improving products. 2 is improving process. And the process innovation is the implementation of a new or significantly improved production or delivery method. Now, this can include significant changes in techniques, equipment, and software, which we see in our marketplace. The next is positioning the firms or the firm's products, and that's mostly marketing driven. And the last is paradigm, which is very interesting. And this implies that a traditional belief system has been replaced by a new way of understanding. And this is where COVID-19 likely made the biggest and the quickest impact in our marketplace. But let's also consider the 4 Ps in healthcare. And what are they? Predictive, personalized, participative, and preventative. So these all offer opportunities to overlay on the 4 Ps of management for symbiosis and really coming up with the best product for the marketplace. Next. So we're going to look at trends and examples now. Next. So here are some trends and opportunities for us to consider, and I'm sure many of us can identify with these, particularly over the last year, year and a half. Patient health drivers of core value, certainly diversity and inclusion, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and now we're hearing and using actually digital twins, self-determination, ownership of data, privacy and security, empowering our physicians and nurses, medical imaging and diagnostics. There's an awful lot now in radiology, for example, and even radiology and blockchain, and pandemic predictors. Next slide, please, Dina. Telehealth most certainly tops this list in virtual care. With that, we're looking at more home health now and remote patient monitoring systems and devices and sensors, payer workflows and payment efficiencies, technology architecture, blockchain technology, cryptography, the cloud now, but moreover, anywhere and everywhere health. Is really ubiquitous. But the one word, if you could go up a slide, please, Dina. Thanks. The one word that I didn't mention that's on both of these slides underneath the hands is collaboration. And that really is at the crux of all our team and management and visualization and entrepreneurship and partnerships and everything we're seeing in terms of innovation in the industry, certainly today. But the collaboration is really what fuels our initiatives and our drives, and actually is a accelerator in terms of a pathway forward. And so more and more and more of us have found that paring down those silos and opening our arms and hands to the world in terms of collaboration and borderless collaboration and interoperability is really the way toward a happier and healthier future. Thanks, Dina. Next slide. So now we get to one of 2 of our examples. And this is a privacy and security example from the BlockPass lab. And this lab was launched in 2018, led by Professor Bill Buchanan. And Bill is professor at Napier University in Edinburgh, England. He is a researcher and champion of consumer privacy, and he is also one of the editors-in-chief of Blockchain in Healthcare today. So the goal of the BlockPass initiative is global decentralized identity for regulated industries in and the Internet of Everything. Certainly self-sovereign identity systems, supporting user ownership of personal data, objects, and devices. So the SIFT platform, this toolkit here, is an example of the consumer's future, combining privacy and machine learning. And this work is highlighted by 2 PhD students on the Open Mind project. And if we go to the next slide now, we can review our 4Ps and what opportunities the lab has tackled. So in Bill's case, in the SIFT toolkit, we've got process, product, paradigm, and position. They're all checked. I can't see product checked here because of our images, but they are in fact all checked. And if we look on the left side, we have our opportunities, and the opportunities are standardizing care, mining of data and evidence, certainly self-determination, privacy and security, machine learning, blockchain technology, and cryptography. Again, this takes us anywhere and everywhere. And we're also, I didn't mention it earlier, but we should also look at consumer health loyalty. And there are some brands out there that have been targeting consumers for quite some time that do really understand how to harness and hone consumer loyalty. However, in our marketplace, and this we do with drugs all the time too, actually, but in the telehealth marketplace, for example, it is a new and emerging market with lots of facets and opportunities and new companies and startups, for example, that need to understand how to harness consumer health loyalty. Next slide, please. So partners in digital health, this is the second and last example for you. We review partners in digital applications and publish 2 peer-reviewed journals, I say. You don't typically equate an academic journal portfolio with innovation at all, but we've managed to flip that model and inject innovation into the market by pushing boundaries of technology innovation in scholarly publication workflow and ecosystem practices to bring more transparency, trust, and truth both to the market and to our audience. So let's look at the slide here, for example. We have been first in industry to launch literally the first US-based international blockchain and healthcare open access journal. So what did we do there? We validated the marketplace and we gave it credibility. We're the first to publish both editorial and staff conflict of interest and financial disclosures. Again, speaks to trust and transparency. Now we get into technology. We timestamp our articles on the blockchain and give all authors a custom dashboard to network with others and to share their research. So here, reproducibility comes into play. We just recently added an article proof of origin, first in industry. And this speaks directly to provenance and timestamping, again, for all research articles on the blockchain, working with Acor and the Hedera Hashgraph platform. So new initiatives just launched earlier this week, literally Monday, a couple of days ago. We have a call for participation out, and you're all welcome to join and participate. And what we'd like to do here is explore how digital currency, proof of origin, and reproducibility can be recalculated into a new journal business model to engage and reward both researchers and audience viewers and readers, blazing new trails there. We're also developing, it's in development now, a new fraud app. We accept digital currency now, only for the blockchain journal. And diversity and inclusion is very important to us in just about every aspect. I mean, we have ambassador chapters all over the world. We have, you know, a worldwide editorial board, and most journals do also tout this as well. We have pillars that are very, very important to us. And next slide, if you would please, Dina.
And you just have
Yeah, no, this is the last slide. So here we have where in terms of the 4 Ps and where in terms of the market opportunities we have impacted most literally the marketplace. So most definitely position and paradigm and product, and what we're doing is enhancing trust and transparency as open access research journals should, amplifying and disseminating scientific communication and discovery in a trusted way, utilizing blockchain technology and cryptography, and again, being as diverse and inclusive, but also collaborating with many different companies as well. Next slide. So this is a wrap for me. Thank you so much for having me today. I hope you have found both opportunity and confidence to embark upon and move your value-based innovation forward. We have an annual symposium, November 9 and 11, entitled Blueprint for a New Digital Health Era, that you are all invited to. Thanks again. Dina, back to you.
Thanks so much for your presentation. And before starting the next presentation, I would like to invite our participants to share their information, their actually questions. So we have a Q&A session after the last presentation. So I would like to invite Mr. Richard Dasseler from Netherlands. Please start your presentation.
Thank you very much, Dina. Thank you, Tori, for your excellent presentation just now. Thank you, audience, for listening in today. As Dina just shared with you, my name is Richard. I wear several hats. My day-to-day job would be the digital transformation and strategy leader of a global $500 million company. In my free time, if there is any left, I study on a PhD in digital health transformation. I'm a member of the International Society for Telehealth, member of the Society for Cardiac Robotic Navigation, member of the European Society for Cardiology. These are all NGOs, which I do out of love for humanity. Further that, I just graduated from MIT and will conduct my studies at Harvard later this summer. I've dubbed this title A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Why? Everybody who has read that book understands that we would work towards a utopian form of care. It is my view and purpose in life to leave things better when I'm done with it than when I found them at the beginning. While focusing on the relevance of value-based care, digital health platforms, and how it impacts on the innovation canvas would be something that I would like to share with you today. The value for you as an audience, depending on where you're from an NGO, being as a national leader or being a company leader, the difference on how you can impact your company, but also your patient lives, depends very much on how you would leverage your competitive advantages. I have been in global marketing and leadership roles since I was 27. I've been very fortunate and humbled for that. And one thing that I learned is if you would like to make a difference, you would need to focus on forward-looking, data-driven endpoints. And there is a curious tide between doing that, because the first rule, having your competitive advantage, and that advantage has moved away in the times that we live in. Because every advantage that we have had will be soon adopted, copied, or innovated by someone else. Hence, the mindset of forward-looking, and I think that is critically important. We spot inflection points early. If you are into the management literature, if you're a part of organizations where you can learn a lot from other people, like Thinkers 50. There's this lady, Rita McGrath. She has described this very well as the part in healthcare where you see snow dropping off the edge of the roof. That's the point where you can have the early warning sign, this is point 2, to proactively react to a world that has not yet happened. Therefore, to conclude this point, digital transformation relies heavily on the vision that you have. You need to understand the big picture of where this is going and how you can contribute to add and retract value. It's my personal point of view that it is purpose before profit. If you look at any successful company over the past, well, the oldest company in the Netherlands is 320 years old. That's because they've understood very well that the only way that you can keep adding value to, in this case, the patient, is by making a positive difference in their lives. And for that, I would like to work through the images that you see below. Value-based care, I believe in the triple innovation. The quadruple is a marketing approach by a larger company, also from the Netherlands. Triple aim, why? In its origin, it's Professor Dr. Porter's formula, which is more of a framework as we are crystallizing out in this current time. And it is patient value is patient outcome divided by cost. And that can mean the following. So any improvement, let's say my mom has had heart failure. The ultimate outcome you would like to prevent is mortality. There are several ways you can do that. You have a life-saving treatment, which will add up the cost for society, which is fine. But until a certain point, if we look at the US GDP for expenditures on healthcare, it would be 20% of GDP. That's not sustainable. In Europe, it's 11.2. That means that we're on a collision course where society can no longer pay for the healthcare that its inhabitants need. If you go to the right upper corner, population health diagnostics enabled by hybrid cloud or open cloud, PostgreSQL, which is a different working format, but then free of charge to enable large or small tech companies to scale in regions where the cost structure doesn't yet allow it. To wrap up this slide, population health diagnostics, if you can prevent it, falling back to the second or the third bullet point, if you can prevent something from happening, you would automatically have a ripple effect on the further cost down the value chain. My ultimate goal is to help fix global healthcare. And if we would like to do that, we need to work at something that is called by Professor Vigi reverse innovation. The outlook, therefore, is to prioritize on the patient needs. And it doesn't matter if you're a nimble or a Fortune 500 company, there will be a seismic shift in the landscape. I'm grateful to have been at the Fortune Health, Brainstorm Health event earlier this year. I got the invitation. I was very grateful for that. And what I learned there is that 25% of that list changes year over year. That is unprecedented in the time that we live in. That means that if you would like to leave or gain a certain skill or remain relevant, the paradigm transform or perish is very real in this time that we live in. And for that to do, I would like to focus on the image right-hand side to you. Amazon Web Services is one of two other players in the market at this moment, which does something very well. They offer a infrastructure where, in this case, Ferrari has borrowed in on. So, and this goes very close to the complexity of collaboration. It's very difficult to do, but something that one needs to master. You borrow in on infrastructure. Borrowing in on infrastructure allows you to gain granulated data that can be leveraged for the advancement of your patient. And anybody who has worked at a healthcare company of a significant size knows that that's for some companies the only purpose is to include more or help more patients to be cured, ideally. If we flip that to Ferrari, it's a global company, but they also have stakeholders. By borrowing or the infrastructure, they gain in on extra capacity, but they trade it for something that is very different. They leave their key core company qualities, their secrets, they lend that out to other companies. And that brings us to something that would be very healthy moving forward. It's the fourth bullet point, zero distance. That means zero distance as in building new health school ecosystems. It goes a little bit out of scope for today. I did not share at the beginning, but I wear several hats. And those hats allow me to drill down on topics. So not only concept, but also on the pragmatic implementation, playing in geography, but also playing in time to time. So the strategic outlook, with my opinion, on the world as we live in today, and that the world is VUCA. It's a term that you hear a lot in universities and also in more in the boardrooms, the CEOs, C-suites. The world is volatile. It's highly uncertain. It's becoming increasingly complex and ambiguous. That means, and I love this book, it's on my order list, it's not yet in. We will move from a world where it's no longer brawn, but it will be brain. And that will help us to move forward through the Darwinism evolutionary chain of command. And with that said, I like to keep in mind that although that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, we're not the first people on this planet, and we're not the last, hopefully, to leave it. And it is something that I once catched up, that we are the inheritors of many years of successfully lived lives and adaptation to changing conditions to natural in the natural world. But now it will be to us. Myself as a millennial has done extensive volunteering across the globe. And with respect to my travels in Africa, it is where you see reversed innovation in the truest form. You will see people with an 80, we see an ecosystem where 80% of the inhabitants have a mobile phone, but only 17% fixed utilities. And that will be the challenge, but also the most important opportunity for our time. So I've learned while living in India is that the venom comes with the antidote. Last slide, please. Thank you for your time. I'm always happy to learn from you. I'm humbled to have been here, and you're always welcome to drop me a message. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I would be happy to introduce Dr. Iman Zadeh from Oracle, and I would like to invite him to start her presentation about cloud-based machine learning. Iman?
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, this is start your presentation. Thanks so much.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm trying to turn on my video.
We don't have your voice.
Do you have my voice? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
This is Tori. I can hear you.
I don't have your voice, Iman.
Oh, okay. So I think Tori can hear me. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming the audience can too, but I don't know if Dina can't, then.
Okay, so probably there's a problem at her end.
Why, Iman, when you want to change slides because she's controlling them, just put up your hand. Oh, you can put up your hand if she can't hear you as a signal.
Oh, okay. So I don't have her voice. Iman, if you have my voice, just please go ahead and start your presentation because I don't have your voice here.
Okay. So I'm gonna start. Hi, guys. My name is Iman, and I'm a principal lead at Oracle. And what we're doing at Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is making machine learning based cloud technology. And I'm gonna talk more about the technology that we are going to develop and we are developing. But first of all, I want to talk about what why we need artificial intelligence. I'm pretty sure that all of you heard about this term and know about the advantages that AI can bring to our lives. So, and I think our life is surrounded by AI these days, and we're gonna be more immersed into AI powered technology in next years. However, let's talk about some examples. So if we have the AI-based technology, we would expect that our performance gonna be increased, and there are a lot of studies that shows that with the AI-powered technology, the performance gonna increase like by 25 to 80%, which is a lot. And not only we want to enhance our performance, but we want to rely on AI on things that we don't want to do. For example, in terms of earthquake, you want an AI-powered machine to go into constructions, demolish constructions, and basically look for people who might be, survived in the earthquake and all the other things. So this is AI. But what I'm going to do in the next couple of slides is talking about machine learning technologies. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is a set of algorithms that empowered AI to do something great for us. But why we call it machine learning? Because we don't hand tailor, every set of parameters and the machine learning algorithm. We let the machine, just like as a human, to understand and learn through experiencing, the data, through experiencing the environment. And then once it has enough knowledge and experience, he can perceive the world, he can make a decision about the world and do something great. So this is the machine learning algorithm that I want to talk about. And then there is a sub-branch of the machine learning that is called deep learning, which is a very common word these days. So what is deep learning? If you consider a stack of parameters on top of each other, and those parameters should be adjusted together and concurrently, let's call it deep learning. So deep learning is nothing than a sophisticated machine learning algorithms. So that means quite scary, right? But what we want to do is we make machine learning available and digestible for everyone in every sort of business. So you're not relying on only data scientists who is graduating from a top-notch university to do your job. So this is what we are aiming for. Can you go to the next slide, please? All right. Before going to cloud-based computing and cloud-based machine learning technologies, these days when we are talking about machine learning, it is just like a black box for us. What does it mean? It means that we don't know what's going on there, but we religiously believe that the black box is more intelligent than us in some cases and accept its decisions. But it's not quite good, right? We want to know why a machine learning algorithm, why an AI, makes some decisions, right? We want AI to be transparent for us. We want to understand its logics, the way that it interprets the worlds, in order to justify its decisions. So this is how we want to shift from a totally magic black box to a transparent, box to understand the logic behind every single decision that a machine learning algorithm making. This is called interpretable AI or explainable AI. So this is the paradigm that a lot of researchers are going after to make it more transparent and understandable for a human. So suppose that we fed an X-ray or MRI scan or CT scan to a machine learning algorithm, which is developed by top-notch researchers. And then it said, okay, this patient has pneumonia with this probability, 97.6. So we want to know why it's making this decision. And the why is an important question that a good machine learning algorithm should answer. So this is the thing that we are going after. Can you go to the next slide, please? Now let's talk about the machine learning for everyone. I think many of you heard about the cloud technology. So there is something on top of the sky cloud that can do a lot of good things for us. But what is that? So in the cloud, we have bunch of models, machine learning models that are trained with a lot of data, with with the help of researchers, engineers, and they have been tested a lot, right? Now, for the cloud-based technology, what we should do is we should feed our data into the cloud, a bit fine-tune our models, which are basically, developed originally by the researchers. And then after the training phase is finished, feed our data that we want to have justification or decision on it. And the cloud-based technology, can make those kind of decisions for us. It is that simple. So the whole point of having a cloud-based machine learning models are just like to make machine learning for everyone without extensive knowledge of AI, machine learning, and data science and data engineering. So all of those things have been done in the background. And the reason that a lot of companies are going after this kind of technology is we have a lot of data in our everyday life, right? The only thing that we should do is finding a way to process them. And it has been shown that there are a lot of companies, brilliant people, who are afraid of trying machine learning and AI because traditionally they think that they should be great, those people should be great in coding, and data science and data engineering. So we want to delete those kind of barriers and make it available for the public. So each of us can go and try and see see the benefits of the machine learning. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. So when we're talking about the cloud-based technology, and for the most of the providers, they provide two sort of applications. Once it's called, generic model, which means that, we as a provider, generated some extensive models that can predict, classify, detect, doing document analysis for you, but it is very generic, which means that it's not customized to your individual need. However, for example, in terms of classification, the model can classify between different sort of animals, different sort of let's say cars. But if you want to develop some specific things, these models cannot be very helpful for you. But this is the advantage of these extensive generic models. It is just like a human, right? We understand something, and once we understand something, our understanding would help us to basically come up to understand other things, easily, right? So we use these concepts in machine learning. Making generic model more customized is an easy job, comparing to the case that you want to have build something customized from the scratch. Okay, so if you go to the next slide, I'm talking about the customized model. For example, you come to us and say, hey, I want to build a classifier or object detector to classify between different MRIs, right? We do not have that classifier for you, but we have a backbone. We have a model that can detect edges, that can detect different colors. So this is the backbone. It's just like in our brain, there are some part of the brain which are specialized in color detection, edge detection. But we can customize that. We can train that part of the brain to be more sensitive to finding a tumor in a CT scan or MRI. Or for example, in a retail environment, can be tailored to classify between different, just like products from a retail company. If you go to, for example, in the IKEA case, if you go to the IKEA, there are a majority of products out there. So you suppose that you take a screen capture or just like a camera capture, and then we can say that, hey, this product that you look at your friend's place is having this catalog number, right? So we want to customize the model that we train in a generic format for you. This is how we do it. We have the backbone, which is just like trained on the majority of data that we can get. But you don't have that much data in real life, right? You provide us some data. We do our magic, which is just like this is called transfer learning. We transfer the network knowledge. Network is like a brain. It's a metaphor. From one domain to the other domain, and now the model is ready for you for your customized use. And then you can use the cloud-based technology to feed new data and get the results. Or even you can download that brain or the neural network into your mobile phone, and then you develop a mobile app for your own specific use, without, again, having a lot of knowledge about mathematics behind it, without having extensive knowledge about data science and data engineering. And all of those hard things is provided by basically a cloud service provider. If you go to the next slide. So I think I mentioned that, why cloud-based machine learning are important. They are time and cost efficient. So most of the cloud providers, provide GPU or highest speed CPU that even, more efficient in terms of cost and time and money than our personal laptops or just like personal machines that we want to buy. So it's very efficient. And again, if you want to do something machine learning based, you should learn a lot about it if you want to do it on your own. We kind of shortcut this path. We provide a service that goes from the data to the end product without a lot of hassles for just like learning machine learning stuff. And the development and test time is fast. If you want to build just like POC or just like minimum viable product for yourself, you can do it very fast. And this provide a good opportunity for testing out many products, many ideas at a short time frame, and enabled you to do something fast failed, which means that if you have an idea and the idea is not working, it should fail fast without you investing too much time and money on it. And it is available everywhere. As long as you have internet connection, you can do it. You can do from your personal laptop, your high-speed computer at your company. So as long as you have internet, it's available for you. And as I just mentioned, it's customizable. It is customizable as per your needs and the requirements of the job that you're doing. And the most important part is it's for everyone, not a magician, also known as the data scientist or data engineer. It is for everyone, from the medical field, from engineering, from constructions, for everyone. Can you go to the next slide? Again, data is the most valuable asset that we have these days. And our hope is, as long as you have data and good data, right, we can make a good machine learning model for you for your specific application. But here's the key point, as data is the most valuable asset, it is the problem of garbage in, garbage out, which means that if you feed the trash data into the machine learning models, you shouldn't expect great data, great output. Sorry. So basically, what you should do is you should do your best to collect as much as data as possible, but the data should be good in terms of the quality. If you're going to classify different cats, different, just like breeds of cats or breeds of dogs, you should go around and take a picture of as much as possible. But those pictures should be high quality. Those pictures should have enough information for the machine learning model to understand it. So this is the problem. But here's the thing, there are a lot of cases that we don't have a lot of data. And we are in this business, right? And we saw that, acquiring the data and obtaining a lot of good data is hard. So we put ourselves in the shoes of customers and say, oh, okay, how we can deal with that? Fortunately, due to the advancement of the data engineering and data science, there are technologies developed that can replicate how the human brain works. We as a human do not need a lot of data to distinguish between dogs and cats, right? How we do that? We learned something and we can transfer our knowledge and use our knowledge from learning that particular things to the other things, right? If I show you, if you haven't seen a zebra, in your whole life, if I show you one zebra, it's gonna stick in your mind, and every time I show you a picture of zebra, you're gonna recognize it as a zebra, right? It is called meta learning and few-shot learning. We as a human have a capability to learn from our learning, right? Learning to learn. We kind of find out this strategy to learn new things. And this is how we want to develop machine learning algorithm to learn new things. First, using the few samples of the data that is provided as the training data, 1 or 2 samples as enough in some cases. And then we want to use the knowledge that we learned previously to the current domain. It's called meta learning and transfer learning. But here's a trick. If we as a human learn new things, all right, we shouldn't forget what we learned in previously. So we shouldn't have catastrophic, forgetting, right? And the neural network that you're developing shouldn't have, that problem, shouldn't forget previous things. So these are the not obstacles, these are the issues that we are trying to solve it. But at the end, we want to make AI, more intelligent. So when I'm showing you the picture of the elephant with that small door, you're gonna say that, hey, the elephant cannot fit into the small door, cannot enter to the small door, right? So you make some sort of judgments. And this is the common sense that we have, right, when seeing this picture on the right. But how we can just like by snapshots, can understand that is conclusion. This is providing a common sense to a machine learning algorithm. Or when I'm asking you, can the elephant fit into the room? We may say that no, it can't fit into the room, but think it for a moment. I haven't shown you the room, so you basically create a picture of the room by me showing you the door, and you're saying that if the door of the room is that small compared to the elephant, the room should be small, but we don't know. These are the common sense reasoning that we want to provide for the AI to make better humanoid decision in the future. So I know that in this presentation I didn't dig into any details, any mathematics, any technical aspect, but I just want to provide you a gist of what you should expect in the future for from AI and ML. So AI and ML should be for everyone, every sort of business, and whoever who is interested to play with it. Thank you so much, and I'm really happy that I have this opportunity to present this slide deck for you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much, Iman. It was really knowledge boosting presentations. All you guys have provided marvelous presentation today. Thank you so much. So I would be happy to answer the question of participants. Please let me know if you have any questions so we can answer all these questions today. Let me see if I can see any questions. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please share your questions in a chat box. Oh, sure. We have a question about the cryptocurrency. I would be happy to answer this question. If we have our speakers ready, one of our audience has some question about the cryptocurrency. It was the Tori speech, I think. So it would be great, Tori, if you can answer.
Dina, I answered the question in the Q&A in the chat. And I might add, I only embarked upon this initiative now, although many other companies have earlier on, because I believe that there is integrity in the marketplace now, whereas it was lacking before. And I also am more comfortable with the exploration of governance and regulation that I see in the digital currency marketplace now. And I think that the market needs those two things rather critically. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Okay, sure. Thanks so much for your answer. So another question is about how the artificial can improve the future of healthcare.
I can take it. So basically, I think first of all, medical domain is one of the most important things that AI should help. However, there are some challenges. That the most obvious and important challenge is we are dealing with human life, right? If I recognize cat incorrectly, this is something that is acceptable, all right? It's the false positive or false negative is okay in that case. But for example, if an AI or machine learning model, recognize a tumor falsely or just like miss that tumor, this is very, very bad. So I think one of the challenges in here is making the AI, which is very robust and with high accuracy, with high sensitivity, to basically to the input data. The other challenge is, we don't have that much data for irregular cases, right? We have a lot of data for regular cases when you scan, for example, the X-ray from the chest. However, we don't have that much data for irregular tumor, happening in the chest. So one important thing is, to collect as much as possible the data from irregular cases. The other one is who's going to be responsible for the decision of the AI. Currently, all of the systems that researchers develop are called decision support systems, which means that they just provide a support for the decision of the physicians. We are not at the stage that we can 100% rely on the decision from the AI. However, I just want to make this point clear that there's a big difference between the traditional machine learning models and on the new machine learning models. For the traditional ones, we as a developer, should tailor the features, right? I should, sit in the front of the computer and saying that if, for example, when I'm just like making a decision about the tumor, the size of the tumor should be this. So everything is hand engineered by a designer. However, for the new machine learning paradigm, what is important is, they learn from the data, and that is why they call it deep learning models, because we can feed the raw data to them without hand engineering the feature, without the human bias, and the machine learning models can learn to differentiate between good and bad, having a tumor or not. But still, we cannot, again, 100% rely on the decision of the machine. And that's how we need an interpretable AI, the AI who can justify its own decision. And then I, as a physician, can look at the decision of the AI and its justification and can validate it or just say, no, that's not true. So this is, how a machine learning or artificial intelligence system can be helpful. But medical domain is one of the high risk fields that many of the AI researchers in the business side, kind of step forward very slowly because of all the legal and human rights.
Can I add you to that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. The way I see it, there are three levels where artificial intelligence can implement on the medical field. One would be in hospital, thus that means bricks and mortar implementation of artificial intelligence. 2, the facilitating of telehealth. 3, early diagnostics. With respect to brick and mortar, there are 936 artificial intelligence companies in the planet, where I think we see especially progress of the implementation of breast cancer and any form of radiology forms of analysis. The reason for that is pretty simple. If you do the analysis process on women with breast cancer, because it's, for whatever reason, one of the focus points, you need 2 people to verify or make a diagnosis. We started with this about 15 or 16 years ago, and that makes the implementation, the risk, if you offset that to a radiologist who is about accurate on a good day for 67%, there are enough AI programs who will hit a 99% accuracy all day long. It doesn't get tired, doesn't get weary, doesn't cost any money, and it would help us to unlock the brick and mortar. And then you have the telehealth implementation and the early diagnostics. It's a bit looking like at the waves and predicting tomorrow's storm by today's movements. And that's per my view, where it can help unlock regions who are out of care at the moment. Thank you.
Thanks very much for clarification for this question. So if attendees don't have any questions, so I can say very thank you guys for your awesome presentation and say goodbye to our audience. The recording file will be available in our International Society for Telemedicine and Electronic Health shortly in an education part, so you can see the past events reports and also the upcoming events that we have for digital transformation, digital health, electronic health, and telemedicine.
Thanks so much, Dina and Frederick.